We monitored some VIPs that went out to vote across the country, and it's amazing the things that we have seen. Some of them said indeed the accreditation and voting went well. And we're going to begin from Daura, where President Muhammadu Buhari cast his vote earlier. We're good. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Minutes, I think.
It's very exciting. I look at those who are competing, and some of them are so agitated. They didn't know that I tried 3 times. I ended up in Supreme Court 3 times. And then the 4th time I said, God did, and God sent technology. With permanent voters card, no fraudulent person can come and claim anything more than 1 vote for himself.
I'm live here at AYA Asokoro, Abuja, and we've seen some voters, Nigerians, who are actually here to exercise their franchise. On the norm, we heard that back in the day, 2011, 2015, and 2019 elections, that people were not as many as these. And that's to say that there is large voter turnout, according to the reports we're getting. On our way here, we saw security personnel who were moving from different locations to different locations. But we can see the presiding officer who are accredited, getting people accredited. Though they said the process is slow but smooth. Let me quickly talk to 1 or 2 voters to get their own perspective to it. You've been here since what time?
Actually, I came around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So, and we have been, according to the people that I came and met, I've been waiting for the INEC officials with their electoral materials. So they came behind the time schedule. According to the INEC timetable, they said that voting will start by 8:30, but they came around after 9, thereabout. So it made so many people to came and they wait for them, which had a number of people that can see us on ground now.
I've been here since about 8, and what I've noticed so far is, what I can say is very peaceful, quiet. Or it's a bit slow, really slow. The process has been very slow. The INEC officials came a bit late. They came about an hour late than the scheduled time they're supposed to be here. Yeah, the turnout has been massive here, extremely massive. I was here at the last election. The turnout then and now is very significant. More people are coming out to vote, which is very encouraging.
I believe the turnout will be more than this, but there's a challenge some people have on their way. The army have to block road, and some of them that are supposed to be here couldn't share on time. And then even when you present your PVC, they didn't allow you. So them came down from the vehicle and had to trek down so they can exercise their franchise. That's the challenge.
But you're satisfied with the process?
Of course I'm satisfied. Things are moving smoothly from the look of things, except at the end of the exercise. But for now, we are okay with what is going on.
All right, then you've actually had it yourself, and that's voter turnout. No voter apathy. People are looking forward to exercise their franchise, and they are also saying, but this is 20 minutes past 1, and by 2:30, voting is expected to have closed. But then we'll see those who have been counting on the line, they'll be allowed to vote. But INEC has made it very clear that anyone who is on the line must exercise their franchise. Ibrahim Shita, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, earlier we showed you a picture of the president voting in Daura, Katsina State. We'll talk more about that. That has been generating some conversation across the country. We'll come back to that particular conversation because it's quite an interesting one. But we also showed you just a clip now, or a report from our reporter, Ibrahim Shita, who is here in Abuja, in one of the polling units. And then he did, that was the AYA, polling unit 10, AYA Asokoro Abuja. And he spoke with some voters who have been waiting patiently to cast their ballot. They were excited to vote, but are not happy with the slow process due to election officials arriving late to the polling unit. But let's hear from Ibrahim Shita himself. He's live with us in the studio. Ibrahim, talk to us about what you observed, because this is a nation's capital. Right. It's more where the seat of power. So you went to polling unit 10 AYA Asukoro. Talk to us about what you
Absolutely.
observed.
So we actually set out, sometime around 12. We went there and then we saw that even on the road before we got there, we saw the security officials, security personnel who accosted us. Where are you guys going? But then after seeing that we have attack, we've got an list of identification. They allowed us to get there. So when we got to AYA Unit 10, we saw large number of voters who were out there, but then they were standing patiently. By the time we approached, we asked them, okay, what exactly is going on? How is the voting process being exercised here? They said that the INEC official, they came quite late. That was 9:30, and they weren't happy with the fact that they arrived late. That's 1 hour late to the time. So we now asked what exactly happened, but we couldn't move close to the INEC officials because they've got about 10 or 15 policemen there. Everyone sitting calmly. No one was fomenting any trouble. Everyone looked quite mature. No one that is underage among them. So it's something that what we came to the realization we came to was that the election is peaceful. The voting process was peaceful and people were quite orderly.
A lot have been said about the enthusiasm
right.
that has come with this particular election, particularly among new voters and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have also talked about how a large number of people in a particular polling unit are waiting on INEC. We heard from the INEC chairman earlier who acknowledged that there was late deployment in some areas.
Places.
That would also now mean that election might extend towards evening. Speak to us about the security infrastructure that you have noticed within the FCT.
Yeah, just like I said, within the FCT, we didn't move too far away from the AYA, but then on our way there, that particular junction, the particular roundabout, they said that it's a very busy location, that where you see a lot of people moving, from different directions. So you can't exactly move freely because you might be held up, somewhere. But, approaching that particular place, it's just a bit quiet, but you had a lot of people, a lot of voters who were there to, register their intention. But then when I asked them, okay, what exactly have you guys been facing all day? They said that they couldn't access that particular location because I can't exactly remember the location they were coming from. But before they got there, they said they were stopped by the soldiers. They didn't allow them to get to the next junction. So they had to go through different routes. So when they got there, they stood still, saying, okay, we are not fine with the fact that INEC officials came quite late, but we are fine with the process, even though the process was slow. So the security officials were sitting there. They were not going through any problem. It was just peaceful.
So talk to us about, because one of the biggest issues we have going into this election was, or two of them, but
right.
one predominantly. One was fuel scarcity, which has, now we know that it's easy now.
Yeah.
And then the other was the cash crunch because of the naira scarcity, because of the naira redesign policy.
Right.
Did you speak to them in terms of how easy it was for them to get to their polling unit? Do they live around there? What is the impact of that the naira scarcity on the turnout in that polling unit?
When I asked one of them, I think it was a man that I asked. He said it wasn't really an issue for them. Maybe we're in FCT, the big boy in there.
And after all, you're expected to vote
very close
to your polling unit. Yeah, I raised that concern that, okay, you said you were coming from a very, not so distant, because he said that particular polling unit has never recorded the number of large voter turnout they recorded there. And that was the first time, 2011, 2019, 2015, 2019, that people were not as many as we saw in that polling unit, Unit 10, AYA, Asokoro, Abuja, that today actually marked the very first time they'll be recording that voter turnout. So I could feel the level of enthusiasm. People were looking to exercise the franchise. They're actually looking to exercise the franchise, making a statement at the end of the day.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to a peaceful process.
Absolutely.
As we count down. INEC is also expected to brief journalists at 4:30
right.
Later today. Ram Shita, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.